Hey, this is Dave. We're here at LessConf, finishing up day one, and I've got Saul Colt here with me. Saul was, I think, probably got the most laughs of anybody in the crowd today, but
that isn't always necessarily a good thing.
No, but there was a lot of smart laughs.
Okay,
I think.
good.
So
I'll take that.
it was refreshing. I mean, tell us when the last time you gave this presentation was. Like the second time you've given it.
Yes, I always try to do presentations at least one practice time. So this particular one I did in a women's prison just to get a sort of untechnological opinion on it. And it went arguably really well. So all depends
awesome.
how you look at it.
I'm not sure we could probably say that about anybody else we've talked to. So that's awesome. But
I believe in giving back to the community. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got one of the kind of cooler roles that I've seen manifest. You work for Rogers Ventures, which is Big Rogers Wireless, the huge telecom company in Canada.
Giant.
Yeah, I mean they're like AT&T and 10 others loaded together. But they do investments, and then you kind of in your role as head of magic go into those startups, and one of those is Thoora.
Yeah, so one of the problems we have in Canada is our entrepreneurial ecosystem isn't as robust as it should be. We have tons of smart people, we have tons of ideas, but we don't have people making investments. So Rogers actually just very recently started this department where they're making seed round investments, A round investments in basically investing in really smart people to sort of jumpstart the ecosystem so it'll benefit everybody. So and again, like you just said, one of the value adds of our organization is you get the brain trust of everybody in the group to come in, act as advisors. In my case, I actually assume a marketing role in the business, and we just try to make the businesses as great as possible for the founders and for the funders.
Is that something that you kind of see in places in the States, or is that one of those things that's unique to kind of how you guys do business? I mean, I certainly always know that the managing partner who does a deal is going to get on the board and have some input, but certainly doesn't seem like they come with a head of magic type title.
I think it is relatively unique. It's not completely original, but it's probably a hybrid of a lot of different things. So, but it is certainly a reason to take an investment from one group as opposed to another group.
That's awesome. So what exactly does Thoora do?
Thoora is a news search discovery system. So in a nutshell, we index the entire internet, find all news stories, cluster them together so the similar stories all get lumped in one group, and we rank them based on actual reaction through the entire internet.
That's awesome. Well, give us a couple seconds because you had some like ninja mind trick networking things you were talking about. Tell us a story about what you do when you check into a hotel. That was hilarious.
When I check in the hotel, I usually try to get a stack of room keys, 15 or 20 of them. Well, that's one of my 2 hotel trips. I can't really tell you the other one. It's maybe not appropriate, but I get a bunch of hotel room keys. So when I'm networking with people, if they ask for my card, I give them my hotel room key. And sometimes I make a joke about it. Sometimes I just leave it so it's really uncomfortable. But part of what I do, I'm all about starting conversations. And I think one of the best ways to start conversations to get people scratching their heads or get people, sort of like out of their comfort zone because it makes them curious. So like I very rarely talk about what I do. I go out and I be interesting myself, and I find that this works for me because I create this weird sort of air of strangeness around me, and people will investigate what I'm all about, and by investigating what I'm all about, they'll find out who I work for, what we do, and it's sort of like a soft, entree into a sales pitch where I'm not beating you over the head saying Thoora, 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 Thoora. It's really more like, look at me, I'm interested, I'm helpful, I'm going to do all these things, and then you'll sort of introduce yourself to Thoora, which is always going to be a more realistic approach to whether you like the product or not.
Going to have longer legs. Very cool.
You said earlier that those of us who are trying to engage our customers or potential customers shouldn't use Twitter anymore, and that.
Sorry, go on.
And that in lieu, what we should be doing is going out and finding finding our customers elsewhere and engaging them. So, where do you go? How do you find them?
Like, you go where your customers are. So it all depends on what your product is. But if you're trying to slug it out and get a message out with Twitter, like, I don't think you should exclude Twitter. Just don't invest all your time and effort in Twitter. The same like you shouldn't exclude Facebook. Don't invest all your time unless it's been proven to you that this is where your customers are. But I think, go to associations where there's going to be less noise.
So what's the name of your blog?
Smartest man in the world.
So, while many people...
But I'm humble.
Yeah, well, many people might think that's tongue-in-cheek, right? But also, certainly many will think it's arrogant. Are you arrogant? Are you pompous?
I have an ego, which I use, I believe, to my advantage. Do I think I'm pompous? I don't. Do I... whatever, I'm me. You sort of take it or leave it. The smartest man in the world bit has carried me. I also tell people I'm the handsomest man in the world. I tell people I'm great in bed. These are all things that you keep saying over and over and over, and people will start believing.
Are you saying that none of them are really true?
Well, this is not the forum.
It could be. Can you tell us about your sneakers?
My sneakers. Okay, I don't know if you can see now, but I've got my...
I'm going to sit up and check them out.
I got my Thoora sneakers on today. They're green and black and say Thoora on the toe. I live a pretty simple life. I don't spend money on really anything. I don't own a car because I'm not home enough to drive it. But my one, I guess, expenditure is I collect Nike Air Force Ones. I lost count. I think I've got plus 30, maybe close to 40 different pairs. All the identical shoe, just in every possible color combination you can imagine. And I just, it's my own thing. Most people don't even notice, but I try to match it to whatever I'm wearing, whatever my mood is. And yeah, if you ever see me wearing black ones with spikes, just stay away.